My name is KARIN Churchill, but I was born a KARIN Busch. I come from Dresden in Germany and I've been living here in England now 52 years. And we have been married for 51 years. I came to England because I wanted to learn the language, to go to India, to Mother Teresa's in Calcutta, and here, halfway here, my husband, my then intended husband, called me and never let me go. Yes. So I worked here as a nurse, first as a sister in the Rivermead Hospital, which is for brain damaged and brainstem damaged people, and then in the BMW, no, not BMW, but it was Morris Motors factory as a nurse. Yeah. When all these men injured themselves and so on, worked as a nurse there. But also, I'm a sculptress, and I worked on various sculptures and figures, and also on the one in Whitehall in London, on Montgomery. So I made this statue of Winston in the night of the garterobes, and I thought before it is being officially released, Lady Churchill must give her approval, otherwise it wouldn't have come out. And she saw it, and immediately had to go to the Queen. So it's there in the Queen's private collection now. I was born in Dresden and stayed in Dresden until the terrific bombardment of the Dresden Blitz. And life was quite restrained and quite frugal. And of course, it was the rise of Hitler who, how shall I say this? We as little school children had to sing, "He is our leader, he gives us work and bread." And so he did, because he employed people in preparation for war, which people didn't realize. And we lived through that. And my father, as an ethnologist, he went on his travels before, of course, the war. And so therefore, he was never called to join the party, because when my mother was asked, "Why don't you join the party?" I said, "Well, I have to wait till my husband comes home and ask his permission." Thank heaven, women were not independent then, you see. Now they are willful and do their own thing. So, but my father then, he was called up, and he, with his comrades, he took his horses and went through the Caucasus and all this, and filmed things. And he was wounded, and he was in a field lazaret as a hospital. And then he had he was released for one home visit to Dresden, and that was the night of the bombardment. And my brother, my elder brother, he came from France the same evening, so we were all together. But I was still sitting up sewing a carpet bag for a friend of mine, and there was all the pathfinders who flew over and said the markers, the whole Armageddon started when the bombers came. And this, it was as if you opened the furnace of an oven, the furnace, fire. And that's where my brother, he lost his eyesight. And my mother was, when we were bombed, it is it's painful to remember actually. An air mine came through, and through that hole, I had to let go of my mother and climbed out, took my brother out, and we then tried to get through these flames to the River Elbe, and my mother didn't make it. She was then killed, and then of course to avoid disease and pest, or the military, they with flamethrowers incinerated the people, all that. This, and my goodness, and just before I heard these rantings from, you know who, Hitler. Do you want a total war? And people said yes, and they got it. They got it. And so, a fortnight, my twin brother, which I took by my hand and guided him because he couldn't see, searching for my father. And we found him about 10 days later. And in the meantime, all these bodies, they were, you know, they were, when you remember the mad cow disease, these cows heaped up, and that's how it was. On every green space you could find, they piled these bodies up. This absolutely horrendous. And this, and then I went, my brother and I, we went through over the border. It was divided between the Americans and the British section and the Russians. We were in the Russian sector, and we escaped over the border into the British section and made our way to Munich. My father escaped earlier. We didn't know where he went, thank goodness, because we were captured by the Russians, and they brought back, of course, and interrogated. They wanted to know where my father was, as he belonged to the intelligentsia, so-called. But they couldn't find, and we didn't know where he was. That was our salvation, actually. And so a year later, we made our way over the border into the Western zone, and came to Munich, where we found our father, where he was. So we were all together. Then I thought, right, I was in the Academy of Art, studied there, and then I thought I wanted to do something more useful. So I joined the nursing school, the Red Cross. Since my Red Cross long service, I wanted to go to India, to Mother Teresa's. And for that I came to England. For that he came to England, you see. So, and
that's where you met?
Yes, yes, that's where we met. Yes. But my goodness, nobody knows the trouble I've seen, really.